Everybody is familiar with Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar's family ties. But what if I told you that there's actually another talented rapper hidden in this same bloodline who might be next to blow?
I'm Fool Keal, not Keal, Keal. I'm an artist, a producer, I'm trying to be a creative. Yeah, I'm 16. Keem is my half brother through our mom.
As the younger brother of Baby Keem, which of course also makes him cousins with Kendrick Lamar, and yes, Kendrick follows him on Twitter, as only a junior in high school, Fool Keal has already hit the ground running with his own music.
Swap out the culling, I swap out the truck. I'm in UK, counting up pay, these buggers ain't making no quid.
However, before I could ask the question you all want answered, will he ever collab with his superstar relatives? First, we have to get to know Mikeal. And especially today when Baby Keem is diving into his backstory and family, even name-dropping his brother on Casino.
Wishing change upon us, broken chains, you bring me pain, you still gon' break the promise that you made to me in jail before you had Mikeal that summer. I was still a baby mama, my daddy disappeared, how you neglect your baby mama, but I won't blame you mama.
I replayed, I'm like, wait, he said my name. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Like, I don't, especially on like the most emotional record on there, is like, that's beautiful, it's fire.
To put any speculation to rest, Baby Keem confirms on his new album's outro that Mikeal is indeed his real brother. Yet, although we'll see in a sec, this isn't the only time he's been referenced in Keem's lyrics. In order to understand Fool Keal's story, we need to start back with his brother. And if you've listened to Casino or know about his early days, Baby Keem's childhood was everything but easy.
Kendrick Lamar, Baby Keem's second cousin. I understood the hardship before he was born. You know what I'm saying? Knowing, his mom, that's my first cousin. You know what I'm saying? I already knew what she been through, and was going through. And just the history of our family in general. We don't call ourselves the hillbillies for nothing.
Born into a broken household, combined with constant financial stress, unfortunately their mother struggled with various addictions. For example, if you didn't know, even the album named Casino is inspired by their mom.
Because that's where I went through all of the things that I went through.
So, while I hope you can understand that I didn't want to ask my dude here too many deep questions and make him relive his past, it is important though for us to get familiar with Fool Keal, who could very well be opening for his brother on tour in the coming years. I mean, as he told me, he's already working with one of Baby Keem's go-to producers, Cardo Got Wings, the genius behind countless multi-platinum hits.
My boy Cardo, it's my dog. Got a couple songs with him, man. So just gotta wait and see. He is tough, bro. I'll tell you, he is tough.
We'll have to wait and see how he sounds over Cardo production. But the truth is though, for Mikeal and Baby Keem, they have not always been so close. After their mother would move from Long Beach, California to Las Vegas, Nevada, where Mikeal was soon born, it wasn't long before their parents got divorced. And with the help of their aunt, their grandmother soon took control. Someone that Keem also talks about in multiple songs, and basically considers to be his second mom. But with that said, what did this mean for the two brothers' early relationship? Did they get to see each other at all?
Yeah, for like the first couple years, because my dad, his stepdad, my mom and dad got divorced. So then when they got divorced, I didn't see him much. So yeah, but then like we eventually reconnected when I was like 6, I think. And he came in and moved in with me and my dad. And then from then it was like, he would pick me up from school and like our relationship got better. But then when he like started making music, we drifted apart again. But now recently it's like, it's getting closer, so.
In 2019, Baby Keem made the decision to move out to LA in order to pursue his music career full-time, thus, as a result, forcing the brothers to separate once more, as Fool Keal instead stayed back in Vegas, living with his dad like he still does to this day. That is, unlike the other two siblings he shares together with Keem, but says he no longer gets to see much.
We have 2 more siblings. I have a sister and a little brother, or a little sister and a little brother. He makes music too. He's like 7 years old. Yeah. They live with my mom, so I don't really see them. I live with my dad, so.
As it appears, Fool Keal might not even be the final rapper to come from this bloodline. However, after parting ways for a bit while Keem was out in LA, just a few years later he'd be back, because as you might remember, in 2021, Baby Keem revealed to us what he had spent his first $1 million on.
Did you spend your first $1 million on?
Buying my grandmother a home.
So that's the first thing you did?
Yeah, it's the first order of business.
It's your house, Grandma. Stop. What's this?
Repaying his gratitude for essentially raising him, with the ability to purchase his home following his breakout mixtape, Die For My Bitch. This return back to Vegas also meant the chance to reunite with his younger brother, like we can actually spot right here, with Mikeal making cameos in the new Casino documentary at their grandma's.
Yeah, that was my grandma's house. Like, I would go see her, and all that all the time. Like, and I just like being around her. She was just such a positive person to be around.
As much as I hate to report, sadly their grandmother passed away last year in February of 2025, also contributing to why Baby Keem took such a long break. And as he raps on Casino, their grandmother actually passed in the same exact house he bought her.
But You know, my grandma passed away last year, so it's kind of a, you know, there's a celebration tonight for her. I wish she was able to be here, but I think she's here in spirit. I like to believe, you know.
If it wasn't for their late grandma, who rest in peace by the way, who knows if Baby Keem himself would have ever started making music. I had borrowed $300 from my grandma and I got my stuff off Craigslist. Keem recalls of his early days. Baby Keem recorded his first song at the age of 15. And as it turns out, while not quite a new house, another purchase Baby Keem made was buying his brother his first laptop. And from there, Fool Keal's life was never the same.
My brother bought me a laptop, so I was just making beats for like a couple months, and then I was like, wait, let me just try and record real quick. So I started recording, but it was horrible. But that song's, at the time I thought it was tough, but then like now, like, horrible.
With a brand new laptop courtesy of his brother and a download of FL Studio, Mikeal had everything he needed to chase his dream. Starting off by just making beats and stealing the name Fool Keal from his Roblox username, in August of 2024, Fool Keal released his first ever single as an artist, followed by a short EP. Although, like I feel every artist does looking back, he calls his early stuff horrible. One listen to Fool Keal's music and you will quickly hear similarities to his brother. Now, you often get some of this naturally since, you know, they are brothers, but mixed with also the rage beats we frequently hear him hop on, this both makes sense after hearing this.
I listened to my brother, Keem. With my like beat inspiration, like I love Cardi. Like it's mostly just Cardi. But artist-wise, Keem for sure. Like I'll send him a song, or like he'll just naturally go listen to my music. Like whenever I drop something, he'll go listen to it, text me. Like it's like definitely, it's nice having someone like that, I'll tell you.
However, before we go any further, we need to address the elephant in the room, because this right here is where things can get sticky. While obviously, like Mikeal said, having someone such as Baby Keem in your corner is no doubt helpful, this doesn't just bring opportunity, it also brings a lot of criticism. Being born into such a legendary bloodline can honestly be both a blessing and a curse. As I'm sure you guys remember, when it was officially confirmed in 2020 that Baby Keem was indeed related to one of the biggest rappers, Kendrick Lamar, these exact same nepotism and industry plant accusations flooded in. So now, how about Baby Keem's brother? Enough with the Nepo babies, reads this post on Twitter. Can we actually bring up talented artists, and not family members who don't bring anything new or fresh to music? To which Fool Keal then quote-tweeted himself, replying with a sad face. Yet, whether you agree with this post or not, Fool Keal didn't pop out with a major record deal. I promise he is not secretly signed under PG Lang. Instead, like we can see here, all of his releases so far have been 100% independent.
Yeah, I'm independent fully.
Fool Keal did not debut with a Baby Keem feature to put him on. He did not call up Kendrick to ghostwrite him a hit, but rather, like any other young artist would, he dropped bad songs at first and has since been grinding to develop his own sound. However, while nothing I say can change the fact that he is Baby Keem's biological brother, similar to how Keem did though with his cousin Kendrick Lamar, Fool Keal wants to establish his own fan base first and build his own name, regardless of his family ties.
I was just kicking it, like, you know, whatever, it was whatever. He didn't really even know until like later. I finally just like sent him a song. Oh, he's like, oh shit, like, like he heard something. I guess he's like, I'm gonna play this for everybody in the studio. And I'm like, all right, for sure. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait.
But despite all of the outside noise, that will just continue to grow as Fool Keal gets bigger. The only thing he can control is his music. And again, especially considering his age, Fool Keal is very talented.
It's going to be very interesting to see him develop his own sound a little bit more and figure out who he is as an artist. But I think if this is the groundwork that we're building off of at 15, I probably like, you know, like it's hard for me to sit here and not be like, oh, this kid's got it.
So how do you know about
What do you mean?
just punching in? Like,
I just record myself at home.
I know, but like you said, you're 16.
Yeah.
You know, I record a lot of people. You know, not everybody just understands the process like that. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the times you didn't even say anything. Like you just knew that I should know to punch you in because you didn't say anything after this line. So it's like a lot of people just don't know that, you know?
Phenom, swap out the culling. I swap out the truck. I'm in UK, counting up pay. These buggers ain't making no quid.
It's like 50-50. I go to the studio sometimes, and then but most of the time I record at home. Yeah, I punch in, but more like I'll make a starter with like 4 bars. I'll write it like in class or something. Like I'll make 4 bars and I'll just punch in the rest later when I record.
Also telling me the only thing he doesn't know how to do yet is mix his own songs, but wants to learn soon so he can be fully self-sufficient. This little detail alone tells us that Fool Keal is in it for the right reasons. And during my call with him, I could tell he genuinely loves making music and is not just doing this for clout.
I want to be more of a project-based artist. Like I'm not gonna be the one to drop singles and all of that, trying to get stuff to stick. Like I want to make projects in the future and actually tell a story. Definitely, while still making those hard bangers and all that. But my next project for sure, I'm gonna tell a story.
Similar to his brother, Fool Keal wants to tell his story with each album that he records. However, before we dive deeper into his upcoming project and the possible collaborations he has in the vault, in 2025, Fool Keal made his first real statement, his debut mixtape. Baby Keem was only 18 years old when he released his mixtape, The Sound of Bad Habit, yet for his brother here, Fool Keal was even younger. On Halloween of 2025 arrived Fool Keal's debut project, Mr. Yugoslavia, which, when asked about the title,
one of my main producers, like, well, he's really just my friend, but he's from Poland, and I met him years ago, and he used to just call himself, I have no idea why, I don't know if he has Yugoslavian heritage or what, but he used to just call himself Mr. Yugoslavia, and I kind of just like, I kind of stole that. So I wanted to name it Mr. Yugoslavia for a while, but then I was thinking, like, for the cover, what am I going to do? So I just bought a flag, and I was like, okay, I'm going to just take a picture of the flag.
What currently remains Fool Keal's latest music release, right out of the gate heard him of the energetic intro, I'm Back, followed by then a wide diversity of beats and sounds. From slower, more vibey stuff, to others that could fit right in your gym playlist, or sound like they came right off of a lot of red, such as track 10, Poppin' Tags. The desire to not box himself in is abundantly clear.
I worked on that project for like 8-9 months, so I was in like a bunch of different like pockets. Like I kept listening to new music, and I was like, wait, I want to make something like this, I'll make something like this.
Shit. Oh, I like this little, I like that little. I'm gonna keep my eye on him. I'm gonna keep my eye on him right there. I can hear a lot of the homies' influence just in the swagger, the beat selection, and all that. So I'm gonna keep my eye on him.
According to his official artist page, one of Fool Keal's earliest musical memories is riding around in the car with his dad, listening to old classic rock CDs like Bob Seger and Bad Company. But again today, he mainly bumps his brother in Playboy Carti. Yet, with his debut project including 2 features as well, one he found through Discord and the other an Australian singer via his engineer. Although, even Fool Keal admits his project definitely left a lot of room to improve, plus the occasional bars you'd only expect from a high schooler. Mr. Yugoslavia, though, also includes what Mikeal calls his deepest cut ever at track 5. Now, how deep can a song really get at this age? Well, titled December 7th, as he raps in the chorus, December 7th was unfortunately the day when Fool Keal lost his childhood best friend.
I don't know why I'd never been in that pocket before, like making like more meaningful music. I just got the beat and like it just flew. Like I didn't write anything on that. Like it was just going. But it was mostly about my dog. And like, yeah, just my childhood dog and other things I've been going through in life. When you're making like an emotional song, you literally like just talk about like what you're going through. And like it's so easy, like it just flows through so easily.
To finish out his debut mixtape, Fool Keal closes with the title track, Mr. Yugoslavia, along with being probably my personal favorite on the tape, flowing for 4 minutes over what sounds like it could be a Baby Keem type beat off YouTube. However, instead, it turns out this was actually produced by Fool Keal himself.
I produced 2 beats off my last project. I produced on Mr. Yugoslavia, the title track, and Tell Her to Go.
In addition to Tell Her to Go, another beat that I could easily hear Keem rapping over. For a debut project this young, I was impressed. But with that said, set to be titled My Twisted Complex, Fool Keal believes his next project will blow this one away.
Very good. Like, it's my favorite project that I've ever made. Definitely clears Mr. Yugoslavia by like a mile, I'd say. It's gonna be tough. That's all I can say. So yeah, more spooky, hard, like synthy sounds. Yeah, still some trap records on there. A couple sad ones. Be fire.
Me and Cardo on the way, Fool Keal tweeted in December, which I'd assume we'll hear on this next project. However, despite music in the vault with the producer of Family Ties, plus countless other Baby Keem and Kendrick hits, this brings us back to the question I know you're all wondering. Will Fool Keal ever collab with his brother, Baby Keem?
Hey, if it happens, but not right now, no.
At least as of this video, the 2 brothers have never recorded a song together, and honestly that's about what I expected. But this doesn't mean that they aren't still close. Well, at least given the circumstances. The life of a chart-topping star rapper requires you to constantly be on the road, such as Baby Keem's Casino World Tour beginning here in April. And while he did tell me he hopes to catch a few shows, instead, to keep in better contact, the brothers have relied on a slightly different method of hanging out lately, playing video games.
We've been talking more recently. It used to not be like that. But now we've been pretty close. It's great. Playing FIFA all the time when he's free. Yeah, FIFA. Have you ever heard of Vintage Story? It's like a Minecraft clone, but like it's like realistic Minecraft. It's so fun.
Baby Keem's love for video games is nothing new, as long with having spent his teen years grinding on FIFA, Fortnite, and Minecraft to name a few, rapping on his new album, quote, "Playing video games was a temporary band-aid growing up," and of course we can't forget, and I'm sorry Keem if you're watching this, even starting his own gaming YouTube channel back in the day named Hikeezy HD.
Yo, what is up guys, it's Hikeezy HD, and basically what I'm going to be doing is a new series on my channel, which is the survival games. If you guys have not seen this on my old channel, pretty much what, ooh, I got some sort. Pretty much what you do is just kill everybody in the game.
Autographing pictures here of his old Minecraft character, clearly not much has changed. Baby Keem still loves to game. That is, again whenever he can find time in his jam-packed schedule, that right now has to be extra busy after the success of Casino. And if you want his brother's review of the album,
I love it. I'm like, this is my favorite from Keem ever. Especially if you're just going back and you're listening to it like fully, it's beautiful. It's like that perfect length where you can listen to it like all the time. Circus or No Blame, those are my two favorites.
labeling Casino his favorite Baby Keem project ever, this makes sense given his personal relation to the album, and considering he lived through a lot of the story too. Yet, besides his mention on the emotional outro No Blame, as we can also hear in this old Baby Keem snippet that surfaced back in 2020, Mikeal has been name dropped before. Shout out to Lil Kel, I share my mom with him, the unreleased lyrics read.
Like 5 years ago, I think, he shouted me out. I remember when he sent me that, I was like, whoa, because I was young, I was like 10 years old, so it's just cool.
But while we just learned that Fool Keal's relationship with his brother is arguably better than ever, what about his cousin Kendrick Lamar? Who, again, if you look on Twitter, Fool Keal is one of about 500 people that Kendrick Lamar currently follows.
It's iffy. I see him every once in a while. It's my cousin, so.
He follows you on Twitter, right?
He does. He followed me on Twitter like 5-6 years ago when I first made my Twitter. It's crazy.
Still not even 2 years into his music making journey, Fool Keal is exactly where he should be. Raw, developing, and most important, hungry to learn everything he can. His superstar bloodline does bring on both added attention and pressure. However, his continued growth will be what ultimately determines how far he goes. And just like his brother does, I will be following Fool Keal.